this is Art Norman, NBC5 News. Guess what? You're watching The Philippe Matthews Show, number 1.
Welcome to the Philippe Matthews Show at thepmshow.tv. Named the Oprah of the Internet by Mark Victor Hansen, Philippe Matthews doesn't ask questions that are different. He simply asks questions that make a difference. The Philippe Matthews Show features entertainers, bestsellers, authors, thought leaders, change agents, and world-class experts in the field of personal, spiritual, and professional development. An internet marketing entrepreneur, Philippe is a creator of the How movement, dedicated to teaching people how to move from the mindset of hope to the process of how. If you are ready to take your life to the next level, move from the mindset of why to the mindset of why not. Tune in right now to this latest edition of the Philippe Matthews Show and watch your life grow.
And we're back, and we're here today with an actual living legend, Russell Simmons. Forbes magazine named Russell Simmons one of Hollywood's most influential celebrities. USA Today named Russell one of the top 25 most influential people of the past 25 years, and I would suggest that it should be the top 5. Calling him a hip-hop pioneer for groundbreaking vision that has influenced every genre: music, fashion, jewelry, television, film, and modern-day philanthropy. Russ is a devoted yogi and is a leading philanthropist and serves as UN Goodwill Ambassador for the permanent memorial to honor the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. In the African-American community, Russell is affectionately known as Uncle Rush, and he is out with his second book called Super Rich, A Guide to Having It All, and it is the bomb diggity. It is a phenomenal piece of work. Thank you, my friend, for being on the show.
Thank you for such a gracious introduction. I didn't know who you were talking about, but man. Who said what? They said what? That's nice.
Man, let me tell you. You know, I got this book, and I literally could not put it down. I read it cover to cover, and I got a lot of meat and potatoes I want to pull out from this book, but I think this book is exceptionally timely, and even more so, I think it's exceptionally needed. So thank you for being in whatever space was necessary to pull this off.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I've been traveling around the country and promoting the book. There's no profit from this book that, I'm not going to give it to my philanthropic, social, or political initiatives. But
excellent.
When people tell me that the book affected them, the last book affected them so much, it made me write this book. That's the space it came from. Mm-hmm. The last book was kind of, after, 15 years of practicing yoga, I wanted to simplify the teachings and give them to people so they can help them as well. And then I didn't think that anyone would buy it, so it was more of a selfish motivation, the idea of pulling it together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave me some money, and I used it towards my budget for charity, and it was helpful, so it was okay. But then Oprah found it and made it what it was. And then people told me, like I said, it affected them so much that this book was an offering. When I wrote this book, I thought about men on corners, men in prisons.
Yes.
I think about our community where we're suffering, on what issues we're suffering on.
Yes, yes.
And I also thought that there was a chance it would be equally well accepted. In other words, last time Oprah did it, I kind of counted on her, and I also learned something, because I wrote a book a long time ago. It's my life and death book.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bio. That's boring. But this second book, To You, when Oprah discovered it, it changed the dynamics. I can affect people. It can matter.
Mm-hmm.
I can. So the path along rate of the last book was good, and I expected this book to be at least, have an equal footprint. I got to tell you that, man. If Oprah don't breathe on your book, you got to get your ass on the road. Ellen can hold my book up, man, and Barbara Walters can hold my book up, and I could be yelled at on the Fox News about politics, but they hold up the book, and all that could go together. It ain't gonna be Oprah.
Exactly. Well,
so
You know you're going to be on. I'm telling you, she's going to find out about this book. I'm sure she already knows.
I found out about it. I was sitting next to her at a funeral the other day, and I was beaten up during the funeral. And she said, I'll read it. I get a chance, but I'm busy now, and she'll be off the air by the time she reads this book. But it's okay. The point is, it has made bestseller. I've still got a lot of work to do if I really want to reach people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm with the responses that makes it worthwhile. Every bit of traveling, all of the work that I've been doing is worthwhile.
Sure.
Because of statements like the ones you made and some of the other ones I've heard.
Well, let's get into some of the meat and potatoes here of this book. Page 8, you talk about cleansing your mind of a poverty mindset. This is so necessary for young folk to hear this, especially young black folk. You say stop suffering needlessly because you believe that you have been shut out from making it. And you say when you have a poverty mindset, you're going to believe that the object that will make you happy is always outside your grasp. Talk to me about that, Russ. That was just absolutely prophetic.
Well, neediness is the cause of suffering. There's no question about that. That's the reality. And needing nothing is the cause of bliss. So operating from abundance, the suffering that's in you separates you from the things you think you want. The neediness that's in you separates you from the happiness that you deserve. If you can operate from a place of needing nothing or a place of abundance, you become attractive. You go out when you're not needing, you give. Good givers are great getters. You've got to learn to serve. The President of the United States is a servant. His job is to make others better any way he can. And your job as an intern at a company, paid or unpaid, is to make others better. And as you are on that quest to make others better, maybe you study your craft and theirs. Maybe you show them how to build their business. You know, you go inside the store from sweeping the front of the store and you fix the shelf, and the shelf gets, merchandise when stuff sells. You go behind the register, you put rubber bands on the money, you treat the money with respect, and you manage the register. You manage the store, and you show the owner of the store how to build a chain of stores. You become the CEO of that chain of stores. You get equity. Every single American dream is just like that. But you got to sweep the front of the store first. And you got to have just as much careful, happy, enthusiastic energy when you're sweeping the front of the store as you do when you're the CEO. If you can't do it when you're sweeping the front of the store, you can't do it when you're CEO, nor will you ever become the CEO. So you have to take all of your jobs seriously. It'll be your nature to take your life and things in front of you and be thoughtful and giving. It's not going to change because they give you a higher position, quote-unquote higher. There are people who wash the dishes who are thorough and they make their work their prayer and they're happy. There are people who are miserable at positions their father gave them in companies. It really is up to you. How do you want to be, miserable or happy?
And that is a choice that we absolutely have that we don't know that we necessarily have or have forgotten that we have.
That's it. To go to work and to be a good giver, a great servant. Everybody looks to them for leadership.
You say the difference between holding a toy versus holding on to a toy.
Oh, yeah, holding a toy is one thing. Holding on to a toy is something else. You don't want to be attached to things in the world.
Fantastic.
Certainly don't use them as vehicles for happiness, so they won't work. They'll make you sick and sad. Hold on to a toy, it'll make you sick, because it'll eventually leave you. And even while you have it, you'll find no reward in holding it.
That's incredible, Russ. Listen, what do you think, how do you think young African Americans in that listen to hip-hop, that have followed not only your life, but all of the lives that you have empowered and inspired in rap and in hip-hop, how do you think they're going to respond to this work? How should they apply the principles in this book in their daily lives when they're, really struggling just to maintain identity?
Their struggle is on the outside. They have to look inside for strength. the story of Puffy putting coffee in my hand before I even knew I wanted it. Leo Cohen going to work and giving. Julie Greenwald, Mike Kylie just became the president of Atlantic Records. I seen them. They were just good givers. They were, these are hip-hop images, aren't they? Mm-hmm. They don't recognize that David Geffen came out of the mailroom, but they certainly know that Leo was a slave. And he don't want music. Julie Greenwald, they just worked for lunch money. So I seen it. Kevin Loud was not even an intern. He was a street team member.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was from a street team member. He became an intern. From an intern, he became a promotional, intern who actually did to help with promotion. Then he became a promotion director of a region, and from the region to the national promotion director. And the head of promotion, who really was doing all the heavy lifting in the promotion, who needed Kevin just as a guide, and said, please make him the president, because we all look to him for leadership, because he's making everybody better.
Wow.
Everybody in the company was made better because of Kevin.
Wow.
He became the president.
Is this what you meant on page 23? You were saying if you ain't giving away your gift, then you really ain't in the game. And you were talking about the similarities of being super rich in Deepak Chopra, 50 Cent, and Sean Puffy Combs. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, it is. 50 Cent gave away his records. So many that he got hot, he got a record deal. They dropped him. He gave away some more records. He got so hot that he got a new record deal. But, he just kept giving. My experience with Curtis Blow, Christmas rapping, I didn't go walk into somewhere and play some music, and they said, okay, no one liked our music. Mm-hmm. They gave it away. Mm-hmm. And you got to keep giving away until they can't live without it.
I think these principles are so valid, so sound, so necessary. There's partly the scarcity mindset with the poverty mindset that you talked about earlier with kids, but there's also the flip side of that where there's that sense of entitlement, which is kind of like poverty mentality in reverse.
It's about being empowered rather than being entitled.
Yes. Absolutely. You say when you chase things. I'm sorry, go ahead, Russ.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
You said when you chase things, this was something else I thought was very profound. When you chase things, they will always run from you.
Yeah, you don't chase money. Money is insecure. Money will follow you. Money will chase you. You don't chase result. And the scripture says you have control over the action alone and never the result. Don't worry about result. Don't fret result. But then in Wall Street, they always talk about results, right? But you can't worry about it. Mm-hmm. You cannot worry about it. In the present moment, if you're reviewing results, you're thinking about change, what to make better. But other than that, unless you are actually reviewing a scorecard and trying to strategize, the result is of no consequence. It's a separate. Anything that takes you off your mark, you make it a record. Mm-hmm. The melody is the only thing on your mind. If you switch from the melody, it might be the result that, oh man, wait till my friends hear this, they're going to go crazy. Right? But you never say, wait till I get the money. If you are, you're not making a good record. It's just bad enough to lose focus off the melody to worry about what friends are going to say, how nice it is to give. The giving thing is fun. So you say, oh, wait till they hear this. That's nice. But it's still off the study. The study is, look at this melody. It's beautiful. Oh, man, the drum beat doesn't sound quite right. This is where your head is. It's focused. When you read a book and you can't even breathe because you forgot to breathe because you're so focused, that's meditation. Mm-hmm. You want to live a moving meditation. You want to see what's in front of you and not what's around you and in front of your life or behind your life. It's what your life is now that you want to be focused on. And that's the practice. And it takes some practice. It doesn't happen naturally.
Sure.
It happens naturally over a long period of time, and we want to speed up our evolution. Right.
Now, you say this is kind of controversial but prophetic in the same sense, and you say, like a hoe, money is insecure. Define that. Break that down.
I kept taking it out and putting it back, taking it out and putting it back. Yeah, like a hoe. I said that, right?
Yeah, you did, Russ.
Yeah, you know how people play on, like I said, smile and breathe in every pose in yoga. Right. You may not have it in you to really love this difficult pose, but you can practice smiling. Mm-hmm. But even as you practice being a good giver, You have to not beg, bug, suck up under people, drain their energy, ask for results. You have to give. So if you got a front, damn, I need to ask this nigga if I could just ask this one. But if I get past, you know what I mean?
Right.
No, I ain't gonna mess with him. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna do my job. Focus on my job and do me right now. Instead of begging and bugging, then you get, then it'll come. So it's like a pimp. Pimp sees the girl, he says, I want that. That's not it. He walks by and flashes his cape. He don't got no rap for. He's pimping.
Absolutely.
But you may have to flash your cape in instances where you are attracted to something that's not so, you really do want a result, but, you can't, this is a practice. The practice that you smile and breathe in every pose is the effort. Try to just keep an upscale, upbeat attitude. You're going to lose it. But, you have time in your mind to change your direction. You don't have to be so emotional that you act on every stupid whim. That's why moving meditation is the goal, to being moving prayer. So the pimp has conditioned himself to act like he don't want what he wants. He wants it. The girl is needy, needs attention to validate herself. She's needy. He's playing on her insecurity. Money is like that because the people who hold on to money are just like that.
You're watching the Philippe Matthews shows. Now, let me just give you my opinion. He is the Oprah of internet. What that means is that he is getting together the biggest audience of people that want to make a difference in the world. And if that's you, you keep watching.